Hey up everybody, my name's Joshua Morrison, director of Johnny Moz's Lessons in Confidence. Today I want to talk to you a little bit about advertising and how advertising can have quite a profound impact on your mind. Now we all kind of know that, you see a Coca-Cola advert, they're not trying to make you think, oh, Coca-Cola, I'll buy one of those. They're not trying to do that. What they're trying to do is they're trying to subconsciously implant Coca-Cola into your mind, so that the next time you might see Coca-Cola in a shop, you might pick it over the Pepsi because you've remembered that Coca-Cola advert, but you don't even necessarily really remember the advert, right? You don't remember the specific, I don't know, Merry Santa, whatever Coca-Cola's got going on for them at the moment. You remember just Coca-Cola, and you remember that you have seen Coca-Cola before, and that's why you go and buy it. That's why, brands that you already know will go out to advertise things, because you have this familiarity with them that is being built, this rapport that's being built, but it's a one-sided rapport that they're building with you, essentially, where they're trying to make you feel comfortable and accepted within that brand's presence. And that's kind of the idea of advertising. Now, it's different for someone that's maybe like your size. If you're like a creator or whatever and you're trying to get out there and try and get your name out there, you need to approach things in a different way. It's not good enough to just get your name out there, because random YouTuber number 658-B doesn't mean anything to any of the people that are walking past, or anyone that's like in the comment section of this. It doesn't mean anything to them yet, because you haven't built that rapport. Now, how do you build that rapport? Well, first off, think about it like this. Say you meet someone who's really nice, right? And like, I don't know, you've got a crush on them and you kind of want to spend a lot of time with them. How would you get them to sort of be close with you and become like your partner? What's the steps that you would take towards that? Well, first off, you need to talk to them, right? You need to go up to them and have some kind of conversation, so that you have some kind of impression that they can have of you, for when they go off and sort of think, oh, that guy was kind of nice. It's the same way with advertising. You need to have something that will make some kind of impact, because you know what, the advert that you probably saw before this is probably not for anything of any worth, probably wasn't anything very interesting. I probably shouldn't say that. The advert you just watched is worthless. Don't bother with it, But at the end of the day, you don't really remember. You probably just watched it, and then like the second the skip ad button came up, you skipped it, right? And I don't blame you, because I do the exact same thing. We all do the exact same thing, because we don't want to see advertising. We are being put in a situation where we don't want to be in, because we don't want to be fucking force-fed some garbage about a product. We don't care about the product, right? So how do you make someone care about the product? That's a good question, and it's a tough question, because every different brand has a different way of doing it. An insurance company is going to advertise to you different than soft drink, and that's going to advertise to you different than like the new movie that comes out. All of these things will advertise to you in different ways. So say a movie, for instance. What might you recognize about a movie? The actors, right? A movie stars Brad Pitt or Tom Cruise or whatever. So now you have a familiarity, because you've seen Tom Cruise and Brad Pitt in things before. You've heard other people talk about them. They are known as like the famous actors in the cultural zeitgeist. They are like the top of the food chain, right? And you've seen them in something and you kind of think, yeah, Brad Pitt's quite good. Tom Cruise is quite good in certain roles. I liked him in, I liked Tom Cruise in War of the Worlds. So say another Alien movie comes out and it's got Tom Cruise in it. I might think, well, he was good in War of the Worlds, so I might watch this. Or what they might do is they might do directed by whoever, right? Say it's directed by Steven Spielberg. Right, well, I've seen plenty of Steven Spielberg movies and I think that he's a good director. So I'm more likely to watch it, because I now have familiarity with this thing, because I have seen things that are similar to it in the past. Now, if you're making movies or you're making music, you don't quite have that luxury, so you need to find another approach. So horror movies are a very good example, because horror movies are a very big cult sort of thing, and people will watch horror movies that are made by nobodies, that are made for very little money. And that's why you get so many indie filmmakers that go out and make horror movies, because they see them as a good marketing sort of thing, because they have a built-in audience, right? So because they have a built-in audience, that means that you're able to get something out of it, because there's people that will come and watch it. There's horror fans out there. There's people that go nuts for horror movies, right? So why wouldn't you make a horror movie over, say, I don't know, a drama? Because what's a drama? Drama is the most vague term out there. It means nothing, because all it means is it's not a comedy, I guess. That could mean anything. Like Schindler's List is a drama, Trainspotting is a drama. They're two totally different films, but they're both dramas, right? So you need to make something, if you're trying to advertise to someone, that someone might actually want. Now, how do you do that? Again, it's through the familiarity, because, you know, say with Prime, I just saw a Prime advert go past on the bus, right? I know Prime because I've used Amazon before. I've thought that Amazon delivered quite well, quite fast, and they have quite a big range on their thing. I'm not advertising Amazon right now, by the way, just to make it clear. I'm just using them as an example, right, of a product, feature, service that you are familiar with, right? And because you are familiar with it, that means that you're going to be more likely to accept it because it's built a trust with you compared to, say, some random site that no one's ever heard of. This is why Temu, for instance, puts so much money into advertising constantly, and they do these quite big, bombastic, very loud adverts because they want to build a brand recognition. They want to be known as the company that sells stuff for 5 pence. They want to be known as the company that has things really, really cheap, right? And now they have built that rapport. I see people in my real life that have used Temu, and I've noticed that everyone that I've known that has used Temu has had a negative experience from it. So again, not advertising. I'm not advertising Temu, or however the hell you pronounce it, right? I'm not advertising any of these products that I talk about. However, it feels like it's hard to talk about advertising without inherently advertising just because I have to use examples. Because I need to name a product that you already know, a service that you already know, and you need to have some kind of understanding for it. And because I have told you about that product, it's reminded you. This is why companies love word of mouth so much. This is why the Blair Witch Project started off by spreading the rumor from all across America about the Blair Witch, so that when they made the film, people knew what the Blair Witch was. And that's part of why the Blair Witch was such a successful film, because it built a familiarity, because they thought outside the box in how to make a familiarity, almost a parasocial relationship, the same way that, an audience has with the creator. It's the same way that, a target demographic or a market base would have towards a product or a service. Like, say, I don't know, Thai massages, for instance, right? Someone I know recently had a Thai massage and they said it was brilliant, right? That means I am more likely to get a Thai massage, right? Or I might just say, if someone else is thinking about getting a Thai massage, I might say, oh, someone I know just had a Thai massage and they said it was great, right? And that might be the thing that pushes that person that was going to get a Thai massage over the edge to actually go and do it. Because we all like to talk. We all like to talk about how we're going to get this or we're going to do that. But it's only through the actual push that we actually do these things, right? So how can you, as someone who is trying to make a product or make a service or make something that can be advertised to someone, how can you make it actually so that person will actually go for it? So I'll give you an example of some times when advertising has worked on me, because advertising doesn't work on me vastly. Like, I did business studies at GCSE. I'm not saying that as a brag, but I'm just saying it like, I understand vague amounts of how the marketing, advertising thing sort of works. And you know that it's not a completely innocent thing, obviously. And that even talking about these products, I was very tempted to make this video without referring to any products, but I thought it was just kind of impossible. And I also kind of wanted to make the video as a point that no matter what you discuss, if you name the thing, you will advertise it. There have been times when an advert has really annoyed me, right? An advert has just pissed me off, right? And I've wanted to talk about that. I remember like when I used to use Facebook like 8 years ago, if an advert really annoyed me, I would screenshot like a bit of the advert and I would post it to Facebook and I would talk about how fucking much the advert annoyed me, right? I'm doing exactly what they want. They want me to be annoyed at it, because me being annoyed at it means I'm going to talk to other people about how annoying the advert was, but they haven't seen the advert, so they don't know the annoying bit. So the fact that it was annoying is just going to melt away out of their brain, and what's going to be replaced is the product, the thing, right? I remember the Cadbury's gorilla drumming thing, right? I fucking hated that advert. It really annoyed me, right? And you know what? I remember, because I was quite young when it came out, and I remember just telling everyone how much this advert hated me. I was doing exactly what Cadbury's wanted me to do, okay? I was talking about them. That's it. That's all that this is. This is why people will go out and do rage bait. This is why you have like, YouTube pranksters or whatever the new thing is. Like people that just really like miserable, nasty, annoying people. The reason that they are like that is because it gains attraction, because what happens is one person sees it and they think, God, this is fucking annoying. How could anyone like this? That's person A. Person A speaks to person B and goes, God, have you seen this thing? It's so fucking annoying. Person B goes, oh, I've not seen it, no. right? Person B then goes off and has a nice day, right? And they forget about this conversation, right? And then, say they get back a couple days later, right? And they're sat down in front of their phone and they're just scrolling through and they see that same YouTube prankster, whatever the thing that person A saw was, right? And they go, oh, I recognise that. Where do I recognise that from? And they won't remember the specific interaction with person A, but they'll sit there and go, oh, what was that? What was that? I can't remember. And then they might click it just to even remind themselves of what it was. And now that they've done that, the advertising has worked. The marketing word of mouth has occurred. And the product itself is a load of shit, right? Because what happens is we all like to get annoyed about stuff and we all like to talk about stuff that's irritating because it can be fun, because we can be a bit animated about it. And there's so many fun negative words out there to describe things, right? This is why in 2016, like the YouTube H3 iDubbbz and all that sort of stuff, that's why they were so negative and they were reacting to negative stuff, because they were in a way giving those people exactly what they wanted. Because they were giving them attention, they were giving them the potential for a new audience, right? I remember Colossal is Crazy was a YouTuber, like, he had a very posh voice, and he did a video on this guy called FouseyTube, right? And FouseyTube was this right, like, knobhead, right? And he did this 45-minute, like, quite funny documentary, like, expose thing on him, right? Just talking about how shit he was in general, right? And I remember I went to see a friend, and my friend really liked FouseyTube, and so what I did was a bit nasty in retrospect, is I just put the fucking 45-minute documentary on. Oh, you like this thing? Well, here's a video about how much it's shit, you know? I have then given both Colossal is Crazy and FouseyTube what they want, because he probably wasn't that bothered about FouseyTube in that exact moment. Yeah, he really liked him, but he might not have, you know, gone out of his way to watch him. Now that it's been drilled into his mind about FouseyTube, he's going to go and see more FouseyTube stuff. And because FouseyTube has, like, appeared in his algorithm, because I've searched for it on his computer, it's now going to appear more, because the YouTube algorithm will think, oh, he likes FouseyTube, let's give him some more FouseyTube stuff. Let's give him some more of this. Let's give him some more of that sort of thing that he doesn't like. That's why your algorithm is so full of shit. That's why I hate the YouTube short sort of thing, because it gets me down a really dark rabbit hole of just negative content, because I end up sticking around for longer on the stuff that just pisses me off. Like, I end up watching the Andrew Tate thing a lot longer than something's a lot nicer, because I'm sitting there going, God, what a disgusting fucking person that is. And I'm giving him more of my time. And because I'm giving him more of my time, the YouTube algorithm thinks, oh, there's something that I'm going to give him more of. That's how stuff like Andrew Tate and like all this, like all these political figures that everyone thinks, how can anyone like them? That's how they're able to spread, because they are able to harness the power of the negative impression and the power of word of mouth, because these two things that come together mean that word of mouth means that you say it to someone else and that person doesn't have the negative impact that you've had from previously seeing it, so they go and see it, they might get the same negative impression, they go out and speak to it. Say person B saw that thing that was on the YouTube that person A told them about, and they also really hate it. What they do is then they go and tell person C about how shit this thing is, and then person C does the exact same thing, and then the same thing happens again and again and again and again until you get to person Z. Right? And then in all of those people, one of them didn't think it was a load of shit. One of them thought it was really nice, right? Look at JLS. Does anyone like JLS? Someone must, because they toured all over the place. They were huge, right? Look at One Direction. Do people like really like that? Yes, they did. But just because we all talk about this stuff, about how shit it is and how could anyone like it, there are people out there that do like it. And the fact that we talk about how shit this thing is means that we are exposing that thing that is shit to a potential audience of people who will disagree with us, right? That's the power of advertising. Advertising is an extremely important tool in your repertoire. And I don't mean this to just say, go and be a knobhead and you'll get instant success, because it's a tried and tested formula and you need to be really good at it in order to make it work. It's not like a guaranteed thing, right? And it's the same way, like if Coca-Cola tried that to just be as big of an arsehole as possible, it wouldn't quite work for them, right? I think the knobhead approach works for like up and comers, but if you're already established, all you need to do is just make people remember your name. And if you're new, you need to make sure that people know your name and know who you are and know what you are, most importantly, right? So, yeah, I think that's going to be the video. I hope you managed to get something out of this. I know it was a little bit all over the place, but I hope you did manage to get something out of it all the same. Thank you so much for watching it. Here's an advert. I don't know if you can see it. There's the advert, there. Otez. I've never heard of Otez in my bloody life. Don't know what it is. I don't plan on using it anytime soon. But take care, everybody. Bye-bye. And don't engage with that advert. Engage with another advert. And if you're trying to become some kind of advertiser, if you have a product to advertise, just remember that it's important to get your name out there as much as humanly possible, because the more negative impressions you make, the more, because like it's a percentage. Say you make 90% negative impressions and you make 1 million impressions. That's 10,000 impressions that were positive from people who would like you. Okay? So thank you very much for watching this. Take care. Love you all. And yeah, see you all very soon. Hope you had a good Christmas as well.